Hello and welcome to my channel Zucker Cooks. I'm Adela, and today I have two special helpers here with me. I have
Scarlett
and
Adelaide.
all right, so my helpers are gonna give me a little hand here today to make this easy, no knead pizza dough, and you won't believe how easy it is. It's a simple recipe, and the only requirement is that you let it sit to rise for a minimum of 10 minutes. I usually leave it for at least an hour, but that's just my preference. But if you're in a hurry and you want to get it done, just letting it sit for 10 minutes is good enough. So let's get started with this awesome pizza dough recipe.
Yum.
So we start with the water. No, just wait. I have 2 teaspoons of dry yeast and 1 teaspoon of sugar, and this is just going to help the yeast activate. And I'm going to stir it for a little bit, like so. Big helper, Adelaide. And that's enough. That's all we need.
Wow.
So this just
It kind of does. Or like wet sounds.
so we just leave it like that for 5 minutes or so until it's blooming, and that just tells us that the yeast is active, and you don't have to wait for it to bloom all the way. Just some signs that it's alive, and then we continue.
It smells so good.
So we let it sit for about 2 minutes, and now we can see there's live yeast going on. It's definitely blooming. So at this point, we're going to add the oil, the olive oil, 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Go ahead, pour it in, all of it, to the last drip.
It kind of looks like, you know, when you're making pancakes and you use the same measuring cup for the milk and the vegetable oil. Kind of like that. It looks good.
Now I'm gonna add the flour, and this is 2.5 cups, but I'm gonna leave about half a cup behind, just in, you know, just to get it started here. And then we're gonna add the salt. You wanna add it?
Yes, you did.
All right, so now we're gonna mix it in. What do you mean, ew?
It looks weird.
It looks like pancake mix when you're like stirring the wet and dry ingredients.
Mm-hmm. Hmm? Okay, let me finish this. Mm-hmm. All right, so here we're mixing it. It's not easy with you hanging onto the spoon. All right, so
It looks like baby sauce.
Ay, ay, ay.
baby sauce,
It looks like
baby fruit.
Yeah, it looks like baby sauce.
All right, so now that we have this pretty much mixed in, we're gonna add the rest of it.
How are we gonna do when it's sticky?
Well, you'll see.
We're gonna unstickify it. Right?
Yeah, something like that.
Now it's like snow.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It's white
The
snow.
flour. All right, so once it's all mixed in, it's supposed to look like a shaggy dough, and that's what we're looking for. No, not yet. All right, and
Oh my goodness, Adelaide.
so something like this.
It almost looks like bread dough.
Yeah, pretty much. that's what it is.
It smells good.
Smells good, right?
Like sissy.
All right, so this is it. Now I'm gonna cover it with a plastic wrap, and I'm gonna let it sit in a warm place. I have a my rising box there that I'm gonna let it sit for an hour. Like I said, it has to sit for at least 10 minutes to give the flour time to get rehydrated, and I always leave it for an hour, and it always comes out perfect.
And it should look something a little bit like this.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna cover it, let it sit for an hour, and then we'll be back.
Yep.
It's been a little over an hour, and here's what it looks like. I'm gonna remove the plastic wrap. And I'm gonna put some flour on the counter. Make sure your counter's clean. Then put the dough onto the flour counter. And then, just the way it is, I'm gonna split it in half because I'm gonna make 2 pizzas out of it. So, more or less, I'm not too picky if one is slightly bigger than the other. Not that important, but if it is to you, you can always weigh it. All right, so I'm gonna set this one aside, and I'm gonna work with this one. And what I'll do to make things easy, I'll put some flour on the parchment paper, and I'm gonna put the dough on the parchment paper. Make sure you flour it well because it's a little sticky. And I'm gonna roll it out to the desired diameter. And I really love this pizza dough. It's so easy and it always comes out perfect. I've yet encountered a problem with this recipe. So this is my go-to recipe every time we decide to make pizza at home. Today I'm going to make a Hawaiian pizza and a pepperoni. Just make sure you put enough flour so it doesn't stick. You make it as thick or thin as you like. I got the oven preheated at 500 Fahrenheit, and I have a pizza steel that I'm gonna put the pizza with the parchment paper directly onto the pizza steel and cook it for, it usually takes like 5-8 minutes, something like that. So you look at how you like the doneness, and it's pretty easy. So I'm gonna put the toppings, and then I'm gonna show you before I put it in the oven. So this is the Hawaiian. I put pizza sauce, ham, some red onions, pineapple, and some Parmesan, fresh grated Parmesan cheese on it, and mozzarella. And I added a little Italian seasoning on top, and this is going into the oven now. So this is how I do it. That's why I have the parchment paper, and now I use my pizza peel, and I slide it onto the pizza steel in the oven, cook it for about 8 minutes, give or take, however likeness I like it, and then I'll take it out. And it's super easy. I don't have to worry about the toppings being too heavy for the dough to slide it off onto the pizza steel, and I love it. It comes out perfect every time. So I'll show you when it comes out of the oven what it looks like. And now onto the pepperoni one. Same thing, parchment, some flour, get the dough, enough flour so that it doesn't stick onto the rolling pin. Some flour onto the rolling pin as well. And this will be my pepperoni pizza. If it gets a little sticky, just add more flour. Oops. Like everywhere. And just the thickness that you prefer, or thinness. Sometimes I like the crust to be thin, and sometimes I don't mind it to be a little thicker. For the pepperoni, I think I'm gonna go with a little thicker crust than the Hawaiian. And that's it. I'm gonna put the toppings on and I'll show you what it looks like. And here is the pepperoni one. So all I did was add the pizza sauce, some Parmesan cheese, mozzarella, and pepperoni. So the Hawaiian one just came out. Now this one will go in, and voila. And this is what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. And then I'll just slide it onto the rack. And voila, this is the Hawaiian one and pepperoni. They both took 8 minutes, which is really fast in a 500 Fahrenheit oven. And they look delicious. So I'm gonna enjoy them. And I hope you like the recipe. Try it, it's really easy. This dough is phenomenal for pizza. Like I said, you can only let it sit for 10 minutes or up to an hour. And this is the result. All right, so I hope you try it. Give me a like, subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.